Everyone, and welcome to Tabletop Obscura presents Let's Build a Super Dungeon, where I have forgotten to start up my VTuber. It's fine though. Look, I gotta be honest, I'm gonna be building stuff, maps, etc. this morning. I'm not sure how long we're gonna be going for. Just cause, wow, I'm tired. But we are going to be building some dungeons. We're supposed to be starting a new floor. Back in the caverns of the Obscura. So, the big question I have, we have done a shallow floor. We have done a shallow water cave floor. We have done a more of a water temple-esque feel. What are we feeling for our third floor? Keeping in mind, we don't have to stick to the whole water theme at all. What you have missed? Well, last week... We finished building our dungeon room for our boss for the second floor. And the idea here was... Let me switch back. Was to have it as a kind of two-phase dungeon where you would be fighting one creature but made of 3 component parts, and it would destroy the walkways as you go past. Otherwise, most of the rest of the dungeon, I'm trying not to tie it too closely to the singular theme, because the idea with Let's Build a Super Dungeon is we're trying to explore different themes and ideas for your dungeons, how you can express them, how you can use them, and, you know, just kind of give that video gaming feel. A little bit, you know. Apologies for that, my cat is being a pest. Aren't you, buddy? Goodness. What tile sets do I have access to? I pretty much cat-themed room. Let me have... Oh no, this would be for an entire floor. Do I have... What's this Sphinx dog thing? We do have some cat-esque statues. These obscure now. I have some regrets. I mean, we have some Sphinx type stuff that we can work with for a cat floor, but I don't think we have the creatures to be able to do it. Could you make a dungeon weapon out of wood? You know what? Let's experiment. Let's create a new one. Let's go. Make a dungeon woven out of wood. Kind of Lost Woods vibes? Is that what we're going for? Because usually, my usual recommendation for anyone who wants to use a forest as a dungeon is to do as a point crawl as opposed to a full dungeon crawl. A living dungeon. Well, okay, well, like I said, let's experiment. spring, fill. Try that again. Object tool. No, that's too big. Much better. Actually, let's put it on scatter. Okay. No, this could work. Alright. Well, let's begin then. Lost Woods, let's go. Okay. So the idea here is to present, if we're going to be doing this, we have to present the idea of that you're in a forest and it's a thick canopy, and the reason you're taking the paths that you're taking is for a specific reason. And let me switch to streamer mode. Now, if we are going to be going for the Zelda type feel, I'll need a couple of things. And we are going to have at least one cat-themed room. So let's see if I have... let's look for wood. Because what I need is a fallen tree. Let's try it again. Alright, let's see if we can do this. Alt, damn it. And we grab some bushes. Because we're just trying to fill in the space a little bit. What are you thinking? The Zelda tunnels, exactly. You saw what I was doing with that, Ninzad. Abso-fucking-lutely. Well, this is our entryway, so what we need... Let's go back to wood. was actually... Okay, so... I was recently watching someone playing Darkest Dungeon 2, right? One second, I got a call. Posts always come at the worst possible times, honestly. Now, as I was saying, I was watching someone playing Darkest Dungeon recently, Darkest Dungeon 2, and they had this concept of undead creatures that were kind of wrapped up in, were reanimated by the forest, the plant life itself. I'm not sure if I want to completely commit to that. But I think it's an idea we can definitely skirt around with. And we're just gonna have... I'm gonna go back to tree, because I need a stump. Corrupted Kunrasu. I'm definitely... That's actually a really good idea. We're gonna mess around with Leshies, because there's a lot of Leshies at early levels, especially using the Botanical Bestiary. Maybe some Fae. Yellow Musk Creepers, the Scrambling Redux. I've already done something with Yellow Musk Creepers. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do it again. Well, Fae is always a solid choice. And now for the fill-in. One of the things I hate is the wrong word. So Dryads have this cool little ability called tree striding. There's a part of me that wishes there were lower level creatures that do it. Thankfully though, being a GM, you can just kind of do that yourself. That. Fun guys too. We could do some fun guys. We'll definitely have a mushroom room, that's for sure. I don't know, man. I mean, that's looking pretty done already. Yeah, I mean, that's looking pretty done. Alright, so... let's save. Now, what was my naming convention for these rooms? Room 1, room 2? Yep, alright. You can't see it right now, but I am typing things in. Forest entry. They're just coming in. I don't want them to be really exhausted already. So we're going to make it a low 3. Export PNG. Universal VTT. Done. Now we switch over to Foundry. Alright, well, unlike our previous floors, let's minimize all those. Unlike the previous floors, we're probably not going to do much in the way of darkness for this. Because I don't really want darkness to be the thing. It can be bright, it can be airy. Well, how are these floors connected? In typical JRPG well, not JRPG, in typical RPG fashion, they're linked by several doors. So the idea is that players will be able to go through the disparate doors and go through to different dungeon biomes. That's the plan anyway. Actually, I have to update this so it includes the new ones as well. But we have a low challenge rating floor. Oh, room, I should say. And thankfully, we're level 3 now, so this makes things immensely easier. Okay, 4 level 0 creatures. I do need to do the maybes. Alright, so first things first, let's set our sources. Battle Zoo. Actually, I need to update that. 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's so many now. I'm looking for the botanical bestiary. No, we're not going to? Alright. Level 0. I made a leaf flesh, is kind of perfect. So let's create a new folder. Level 3. Aww. Original copy. We are gonna put in Leshy husks because I will need that for later. I will have to have a look. Give me a second. I'm just kind of going through the level zeros. And fine leshies. Alright, clear all filters. Oh, yeah. I like where your head's at. I've seen these creatures before. And I've tried to kind of work them in. For level 3, this would be a +3 severe encounter. And generally speaking, I'm not a fan of those. Because it's very much a case of the players hardly ever hit it. And the creature just always crits. Like another level, like level 4? Absolutely. However, I do need... Give me plants. Because what we're going to do is we're going to start pulling in our maybe pile. Wildfire Leshy. We'll put a Wildfire Leshy in just because that will be a fun time later on. Dryads are level 3? I thought they were higher than that. Well, we suddenly have extra options. I can work with that. Dryad Husk. I'm gonna put in a Goron, but we'll see how it'll actually go. Twig Jacks are fun. Arboreal Wardens are even better. What are you? Cold Plant. No, thank you. Blackchap Lessie. I can word. Mandragora. Wrong vibe. Sanguine Rose. Whoa. No, I'm good. Okay, so I am gonna put in the blue to wed. But if I'm gonna eventually use it, I'll probably give it the weakened template. And same for an awakened tree. Alright. So, we have our maybe pile for our first low-level room. Leaf leshies, I need vine leshies. One of the things I really want to do with these dungeons is I want to kind of increase the complexity. My chat box isn't working at all, is it? Oh, that's fun. Oh god, I wonder why that is. Yeah, chat box isn't working at all now. If I was to consider why, it would probably be because the chat box is pulled over from when I used to use Streamlabs. And now that I'm using OBS, I think Streamlabs is finally starting to make their stuff a little bit more proprietary. Because, you know, capitalism needs to have its dirty little hands in everything. But we are going to have a Leaf Leshy and a Vine Leshy, because in this particular dungeon, I want there to be very much this idea of, pretty much in all the dungeons I create, there's a idea where you'll be going up against a group of a singular creature, and I feel for beginning GMs, that's fine, that's great, let's do that. But as GMs, as we kind of advance feels like the wrong word, but as we're kind of get more used to the system and can kind of spread out a little bit, having mixed groups of creatures just benefits. Blossom? Yeah, no, that works. This is gonna take a little while to actually set up, isn't it? Cool, that's fun. I was having a quick look at what I could do to get chat working again, but it doesn't look like it's gonna be a quick fix. If I'm still going in half an hour, we'll probably take a little bit of a break. But Leaf Leshies and Vine Leshies. So, one of the things I really do like about the Vine Leshies is Vine Leshies can extend or shorten their arms. With limbs extended, the Vine Leshy has a 10-foot reach. The Leshy can't use weapons that already have reach in this way because they would be unable to keep their balance. So this extends their spears out to about 10 feet, giving them effectively reach. And Leaf Leshies have glide, which allows them to kind of launch out at people from ambush areas. Now, what we're going to be doing with this, particularly for this floor, is our two leafy boys are going to be starting off in the trees. In stealth, because they do have stealth. Good. Had to check. And with the 30-foot reach, they should be able to reach pretty much most things. Combat positioning in a major way. So, with the previous floors, we've been dealing with a lot of enclosed spaces. So, cave systems, temple dungeon, that kind of thing. With a living dungeon such as this, where the walls are kind of with our trees, what you can do instead is, without a roof on your dungeon, so to speak, you can really play with flying creatures and the like, and by level 3, your players should have better options for dealing with flying creatures. And one of the beautiful things about Leshies is they can change shape. Yeah, no, that's gonna take way too long. Nope. Chat box for OBS. So this is what happens when I try to do multiple things at once. I will have to take a break and fix it in there. But we'll do that in a little while. And because they can change shape, this gives them a significant advantage when it comes to hiding, etc. See, hoist the colors, and our dear friend Sunshine, who tends to pretend to just be a clump of seaweed floating on the water. That's adjacent. We don't really need them that close. But it could be advantageous. And the idea is that they just start in stealth. As soon as our dear Tester McTest, who no longer needs a torch, as soon as he steps up to the shrine, our boys can start attacking. Now, because the leaf leshies will be about 20 feet up, a Capsith is level 62, yeah. Because our leaf leshies are going to be up in the treetops, they can start shooting from on high, and don't have to worry about it. Now, as things get a little bit more desperate, of course, they'll come down, etc. But otherwise, let's... Wall controls! I just kind of want a wall. Yeah? Also, I gotta admit, I'm pretty hyped for the fact that we've got, announced for... Well, not announced, but he was in the trailer. We have Cav Sith in the next Final Fantasy VII game. So hyped for that. It's absolutely perfect. I'm super looking forward to it. But yeah, that's our first floor. Look, you don't really have to quite yet, but that would be the clear indicators of where players have to go first. Log beam. It's gonna be wild. Apparently, look, it's gonna be... So next-gen consoles, or current-gen consoles, so on the PS5, and it's going to be over 2 discs. Like, you will need 2 discs to play this game. I'm just like, wow. I don't think we're gonna have the disc switching thing that was classic once upon a time, but I definitely think we're gonna have an install disc that's entire, like... It's gonna be a big game. The question is, however, am I actually going to play it on stream or not? Because that is always the big question. But that's our first room done. Let's have a little bit of a switchback now. Here we go. Dungeon draft. I do like a nice ambush for a greeting room. It makes the players feel welcome. We are going to flip these around for our next room. Terrain brush. Really wish you'd just stick to rainforest? No. No, you're just gonna be a pain in the butt, aren't you? Oh. Switch. Scatter. Let's grab our trees again. Yes, I'm still watching. No, Warden. You're being a butt. Yes. Also, I gotta say, I wasn't expecting the tree walls to work quite as effectively as they are. I am pleasantly surprised with how this is actually working out. Like, I'll be real, I kind of expected it to look really dumb, but it's actually surprisingly... I'm honestly a little bit sad that Mana's not here. Because Mana really does love Zelda, etc. So this would be right up their alley. Now, I know these say bushes, but because of their positioning, it kind of allows us to add a little bit of extra color to the tree walls. You probably need to splice some narrative about the branches and trunks growing unnaturally fade, dense to reject attempts at squeezing through. Oh, absolutely. Like, straight up. I would probably do it in the shrine room, and we'd probably have a talking statue situation. Or they would get briefed on the way in. Though, I'll be the first to say some people will try anyway. No, because we want it to be a part of the floor. Now, I need to just jump back to Foundry for a second because I'm looking through our options. We've done one low room. We need a moderate room now. We can do another group encounter, which would probably make sense. So level 1. Hey, Lakitos. Alright. So we have access to gold leshies. So let's do it. Let's see what we have. No. Sprouts? I'm just kind of looking for something and seeing whether I can do it. No, we'll have to do it manually. That's fine. I got this. That. Much better. Okay. They can stay there. Now, I want to see if this trick will work. Oh, that's gonna work. Oh, I love it when it works. Not as rounded as I would like, but that's fine. We are going to be growing some veggies. Go back to our objects. They're gonna annoy me. So we're gonna just delete those straight up. See, I was in a server yesterday, and people were talking about how apparently imaginary, forgotten adventures, who they're a pretty famous Patreon / company / thing that do token packs for GMs, and they do map making assets and stuff like that, and they get used for professional stuff all the time. The premium Foundry modules that you use for the Pathfinder Adventure Pass, for instance, use the Forgotten Adventures packs. But in all honesty, you don't need to. Like, I know I use a lot of I use Chepeku and Moonlight maps, I think it is they're called as well, for a lot of my stream stuff. But if you have a clear idea of what you're doing for your dungeon, you can just use a program like Dungeon Draft. It's $20. You can get it through Humble Bundle. And I'm actually going to probably do a couple of TikToks and things showing some of the tips and tricks that I've picked up along the way for really doing effective stuff like this kind of thing. No, I want a different one. You. Now we need to present the suggestion that these are in fact vegetables. And some onions. But Matt, these vegetables are looking really big. Yup. That is hopefully the plan and the idea that the players will come to as well. We're just gonna have a bit of a stack of leeks. See, when I was a kid, I never ate vegetables at all. Like, I just really didn't like them at all. What you've been doing with this program seems much more sufficient for anything I can imagine. Like, yeah. See, one of the things that... Wait, right-clicking just does a 90-degree turn? Oh god. Oh, that's life-changing. Sorry, I'm fine. And look, okay, so Dungeon Draft has other tile packs, but the default one that comes with it, poignant, the default one that comes with it is DRM free. So any of these maps that I'm making right now, I could stick this into a paid for product, and Dungeon Draft wouldn't say anything about it. Whereas if you start working with some of the other assets and token packs, then they start asking for money and stuff like that. Which is fine. They put in great work, they do great stuff, and they should get money for the work that they put in. However, if you're just getting started out in the industry, and you're trying to put together your first adventures and stuff for publishing, because I will tell you now, if you want attention in this industry, you need to get products out. Then you need to make do with what you got, and you can't really... I could afford $20 once off for a program like Dungeon Draft. I can't afford $10, $15, $20, $30 a month for Patreon for what is essentially an asset pack. But if you're using it for more personal stuff, you can get other tile packs and sets. And you can get them pretty easily. I need a basket. That's not a basket. Problem is that sometimes you have a little bit of trouble finding the stuff that you actually want. Veggie garden. Look at 10, see what we get. I don't really want... I'm overthinking this. I'll tell you what, this dungeon is gonna make players paranoid of trees forever. Apropos the Kingmaker module sounds huge, yeah. No, I've been hearing that as well. Apparently they've started beta testing it? Like alpha testing it or something like that, and it's massive. Assets for 400 creatures and 40 scenes must cost out the yeah. There's a part of me that wants to get it. But if I put it on Throne, then that kind of means, hey, I'm signaling that I want to run Kingmaker itself, and I don't. I really don't want to run Kingmaker. Yeah, I want to run kingdom building, or I want to run nation building. Because not every nation is ruled by a king. I want to run nation building, but I don't want to run Kingmaker specifically. But I have run 3 nation building campaigns at this point. There's people who want me to run more, and I know specifically how difficult they are to run. Running it seems like a giant commitment. Yes, absolutely. Like, if you're a starting GM and you're looking at running Kingmaker, don't. Just don't do that to yourself. We do need a... Actually, we got chunks and stuff. Just gonna have a friendly little tree stump there. See, I'm not sure if... This is done, by the way. I'm quite happy with this. Save. I've got to rename all of those. Cool. Room 2. You can hear him. I think someone wants some attention. Hi. Because we were starting to get into the summer months, so I've put away the heater and everything else like that, but it's suddenly gotten chilly again. So someone wants me to pull out the heater and all the rest of it. Then we export to Universal VTT. Then PNG, export. Sorry, just doing a little bit of renaming while I'm here. That. All right. Then we go to Foundry. We know how this goes at this point. Alright, and we have our veggie garden. We can have 4 creatures of level 1. And as I've already checked, we have some options here. And God bleshies. They have a spray. Oh, beautiful. Heliotrope. Oh, that's beautiful. Okay. So Sunflower Leshies have Heliotrope, which is an aura that can make people off guard or dazzled. And they have a seed spray. Beautiful. And we have our good Leshies as well. Easy done. So, for this one, I need to check the range at 30 feet and snare. Oh, I like that. Paralyzing. Let's go. So, one's gonna be there. Now, one of the reasons I'm introducing a bunch of Leshies really up and close, and very soon within the dungeon, is because in later encounters, I'm gonna be mixing up which ones are a part of it. And because players will have learned kind of what to expect, will have plenty of uses for recall knowledge, they'll be good to go. Though, I will say, after the second encounter, I get the feeling players are just going to be setting fire to any vegetable they see. Which, you know, that has its own amusement points for me. That said, we are at the halfway point. I'm going to take a short 10-minute break. Just so I can deal with my cat and also see if I can restore this chat box in time. Or at least something. So, we'll be back in about 10 minutes. Hope to see you then. Where's my... everyone, we're back. I I don't know what to tell you. It's just not wanting to work at all for me. I've got like a new widget thing set up. It should be working. One more time. Yep, I don't know. Browser sources just aren't working at the moment. So that's fun. I will have to actually do some fixing and checking on that. But we are building a dungeon, and I want to keep doing that, because that's more fun than troubleshooting live. I think so, Ninja. Because I have... Like, I've opened the browser source in an actual internet browser. Everything's coming up as it should. It's just not coming up on OBS. I think I'm just gonna have to uninstall and reinstall OBS or something because it's acting really screwy lately. Yes. Nah. Screw it. Like I said, I want to build a dungeon. I don't want to have to continuously mess around with that. So, back to Dungeon Draft. Now, we have Arboreal Wardens that are at level 4. That would be a meaty encounter, though. But good for solo. That could be interesting. Alright. So, let's go back to Dungeon Draft. Reset our tiles. Bill. That. Keep doing that. Take it off snap. Definitely kind of a crossroads kind of thing going on. God, no. Tree in the center. This one's probably gonna be super quick. Not gonna lie. Wood. slightly off, but I can easily fix it. Grab out leaves. Take it off snap. I think at some point I'm gonna have to do a stream where I just recreate a bunch of the maps that I used from Chepeku for Voice of the Colors. One, because I'm gonna have to do it eventually anyway. And two, just because I think it'd be a nice little exercise. There we go, nice and pretty. Tree? Yeah, no, I'm gonna need... Actually, no. Let's see if I can find a log. Yes. Actually, turn a shadow on for that one. Grab him. Send him to the back. There we go. One of the biggest things I learned from Minecraft, make sure you always have a sense of depth. Alright, export. No, first we want to save. Yeah, we'll go copy. The night tree. Because export PNG. I don't know if it's just I'm getting faster at doing this. It's probably a pretty accurate. A dungeon machine. First things first, I'm gonna rename that while I'm here. Because that is inaccurate. football controls. Oh, thanks, YouTube. I'm not actually listening YouTube. I mean, I'm not watching YouTube. I'm just kind of listening in the background. But where's our Arboreal Warden? Hey, buddy. So, for those who have never seen one of these things, let's get a good old shot at him. I believe they were introduced in Bestiary 3. These are plant creatures, tree-like, as you can tell. But one of my favorite things about them, he is a big boy. But he has attack of opportunity and shield block. He is kind of a champ. No spells. Stone longsword. Yeah, they actually got that in, and a large bark shield. But yeah, he has a shield bash, and his longsword has a reach of 10 feet because he's a large-sized creature. I've used these guys before. They are a lot of fun. Especially when you walk into a fight with them, and the first thing they do is kind of raise a shield, and the players are like, oh no, this guy's got strat. Now, considering the context of the adventure, probably what I would do, or for the room I should say, is I would start him off as medium, sitting on the log, and then as the players enter, he would just be sitting there casually. I'll probably have him either working on his sword or just whittling away at something. And we would be super annoying. Because there's a fun thing you can do. If you're really trying to recreate the Lost Woods feel of things and the vibe, because he would say something along the lines of, hey, if you want to get further in to the forest, you have to beat me in a fight. And the players are like, well, no, there's the entryways right there. They would have the whole vibe of just being teleported from entryway to entryway. Run in one, come out the other. As soon as the fight starts, however, I would instantly have him go back to his large size. Probably push him back to there, however, instead of having increased into there. And then players have to deal with him. His vulnerabilities. He has a weakness to fire and axes. It's why I'm never really worried about these kind of things. By like level 3, players should have access to fire. And I honestly think more people should be using axes in general, so I would not be really worried about this one. And as usual for a 1v4 situation, they would just rush him and take over in terms of just sheer action economy. But considering he has shield block and has a shield in general to raise his shield, he can kind of make his armor class pretty meaty to begin with. But that's easy done for that one. While we're here, I'm going to check out what I can do for medium, because we need to start mixing up a bit more. Want a moderate encounter. A 3 and 2 ones. Can you design a room and encounter around illusions? I was thinking about how to use illusionary object in in interesting ways, and I feel like it almost wants something dynamic in the map itself I could take advantage of, but I can't quite nail the idea down. Well, it depends on what you want to do. There are ways to do it with modules, but it all depends on... You know what? Fuck it, let's do it. Because that's pretty much done now anyway. So, Dungeon Draft. Let's make a new one. Because you ask a really good question, and there are ways to do it. Scatter. Tree. Yep. Now, this is where things get a little bit more complicated. What do I want? We gotta get it nice and close to this one. As close as possible. No, I need to shrink them. They all need to be in the same square. Because we're going to be doing a slight optics trick. And we'll go through some of the advantages and disadvantages of doing it the way I'm about to do it. Because there are absolutely modules that enable you to do this a hell of a lot better. That's... Then we go back to that. Delete you. Move you in. I promise this will make sense in just a minute or two. So, what we currently have is a bunch of different pieces. Zoom that out. We're going to build a quick little hedge maze. Export Universal VTT. Hey Foundry, how you doing? Now, one of the things that does occur to me is I haven't put down any of the litter and stuff like that, which I will go back and do, but I wanted to show. First things first, I actually need to save these images. So what I have done currently is I have screen cut a bunch of those bush arrangements. Save image. Choose file. That's yeah, I think you'll generally get the idea just from that, but let's add in the extra pieces. All right, now, if you want to do a hedge maze and foundry, and there's probably a cleaner way to do it than what I've done, but this is just kind of quick and dirty. Control... No, I want Control C. I want Control V. Control V. And like I said, I think you pretty much get the idea from here. Because what I've done is created a bunch of tiles based on the map itself. And look, this is not going to be super clean. Like for instance here you can have the clipping. What I would do is probably go back into, what I'm probably going to do before I log off is go back into Dungeon Draft and fix this map up so it's a little bit cleaner around the edges. Bring the trees back, etc. Probably also create an additional tile. Go left edge one. Yeah, that works. But, like I said, so when your players come in, they can come around the corners. Where's that boy? Now, of course, the problem with this is I don't think there's a way natively to make the tiles impossible, but you don't want them to be impossible anyway. What you want to do is the players can't get past that. Well, I got GM control, so I can move them past it. But that would be the idea. Now, the unfortunate part is you would need something like, I think it's called tile attacher. Yeah, there are modules I know of that you can do it with, and I think it's called tile attacher or something like that, where you create a prefabricated tile. And you can attach things like walls to said tile. I haven't had the chance to experiment with it, but now that it's actually come up, I might do that. And if I figure it out inside, I will be sure to put together something quick as like a TikTok or something for YouTube shorts or something like that, so people can have a look. But as long as it works the way you're supposed to, ideally, you would have things like that would rotate around. You get the idea, you can play with it. Awesome. Other things you can do. You can do this just with walls in general. If you're trying to, if you don't want to mess around with the wall oculation and stuff like that, like the players being able to see through things, you could just create a mirror maze with this kind of thing. My point being, there is stuff that you can actually do. This would be a low-level encounter. The environmental hazard itself acts for something. Who would we have? Something level 2. I'm not doing a cactus leshy. That's just not gonna happen. Need more level 2 creatures. You know what? While we're here, I want my botanical bestiary. There we go. What do I want them being chased by? Something level 2. Actually, level 3, because the... How are you, Sticky Leaf? Grab's good. Some people ranger spells that can rest the party as they try and find the right path. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. Witch Hazel could be fun. Not him. So what I would probably do is I would probably use our Witch Hazel. Small sized, absolutely perfect. But I would probably expand their spell list. So I'd give them a couple of... Give them some cantrips. Something that they can use at range. Tanglefoot, for instance, would be great. Ideally, depending on how much I want my brain to stress out, I would probably have the maze change every turn. The Leshies are just going to have a general rule that they can kind of just pass through the hedges in this maze. That'll be a part of the environmental encounter for it. But I think considering... Like, look at that picture. I would have this as... They would run. Like, this would be, I would give them a proper name. Or if, if chat wants to name it. And they would pretty much run around and harass the players for most of it. It's supposed to be a Witch Hazel. Oh, you mean... Yeah, I think the cat's part of it. I'm not 100% sure, though. But our girl would probably be off to the side here. And she would harass the players for that. Now, time to fix this map. Because now that we have a better idea of what we're working with. In order for the illusion to work the way it's supposed to, complete you, because you're unnecessary. The trees really can't go past the edges there. Windows Shift S, by the way, for if you want to do screen cutting. without doing like full screenshots and stuff. That's this is the problem with this kind of thing, though. It's just the fiddly work of getting it done. And if I had afforded this earlier, I probably would have done it initially. Into there. Alright. Now our tiles have a smooth entry point. I'm probably not going to bother with actual litter in and around here. Because the tiles are going to be going over the top of it anyway, and you won't see them. However, we do need to put in our little doorways. Because theoretically, the doorways will never be blocked. Nice empty space, otherwise, so our tiles can do all their things. Speaking of, while we're here, snap. We want them as constrained to the barriers as possible. Different one, just to put it at the top there. Save image. I know what this is about now. Now we go back to our object tool. I really wish my housemate wasn't screaming. I hope you can't hear it at the moment. Aceling the hedge maze, guide of the path on down. Aw, I like that. Wait, Aceling. I know that name from somewhere. Old Irish word? Oh, okay. Means vision. Nice. I will let you know if you're starting a journey into map making, particularly using Dungeon Draft or something like this for your home games, your players aren't going to care about a lot of these details. However, you will, as the GM, and you will appreciate the work so much more if you know you've kind of put the extra bit of effort in to make it look as good as possible. I get told from time to time that I truly do not need to put as much effort in it as I do. But, I don't know, I just take pride in the work. And then Universal. We're gonna create a copy. Actually, no, she's gonna be our iconic. So, let's grab this. We need prototype token. That. Where is our aceling? Beautiful! Now, let's see if this will let me... I don't think it's going to. Because there's absolutely an easier way to do this. Much better. Now we have a new tile. So let's add that one as well. And booyah! You now have the means with which to make an entire hedge maze and be able to move the shifting pieces around. We are going to get going very soon. And I already know who we're going to be raiding. But I do want to check it up quickly. Boundary, VTT, attaching walls to tiles. Okay. I might actually have the module for doing this. If I do, we're gonna give it a shot. Alright, so I've activated the module token attacher. Create a token. Alright, so need to check something. Just bear with me while I do this. Okay, that'll be a YouTube video. I will have to look that up and I'll make a mini tutorial or something, people. Let's move Hazel. Stay invisible. Well, that's also interesting. Overhead, bring to the front. Anyway, I will create some hedge actors. You know what? Let's give it a shot. I kind of really do want to see if I can get this working in time. We're just gonna create as an edge 1. I mean, if I could get this working. Now. Did that work? Oh, one way to find out. I mean, kind of. Okay, so not super clean. But I will say that will be something I'll have to fiddle around with, and I'll figure out how to do it properly. But that was just using the token attacher module. And I think with some fiddling I could actually make that work. The theory is absolutely there. I'll dedicate an hour or two where I can just quietly plug away at it and put on some music. But if I can get it working to the way it should be, that would be awesome. Otherwise, thank you everyone for joining us. Nice and easy. We're going to be raiding into Kat, who is currently playing World of Warcraft. At least I hope they're still playing Warcraft. Yep. They're playing World of Warcraft Hardcore Edition. I've got a couple of things I need to fix up with the stream because I need to have that chat working by the weekend. And by weekend, I mean tomorrow. But if you have enjoyed the stream, and if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you so much for the support for Let's Build a Superdungeon. The support I've had for it, and even I've had people messaging me being like, hey, thank you for doing this. You're showing some really great tips and tricks. I'm learning so much from it. Feel free to spread it around as well. Tell your friends, all that other noise, especially if they're getting into GMing and they're a little bit daunted by doing their own dungeons. You can do it. Like, I don't want to say it's not difficult, because there are some tricks. There are some issues with building your dungeons, and I have a lot of experience doing this kind of thing. But it is accessible. Like I said, Dungeon Dropped is only 20 bucks. You can get it on a Humble Bundle pretty quickly. Otherwise, thank you everyone for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. We will be continuing Hoist the Colors. Otherwise, we're going to give Kat that raid. 7, 8, 9. Beautiful. We're gonna just raid on in. Tell them who sent you, but otherwise, I hope you have a good day, a good night, a good week, no matter where you're at in the world. And remember, as always, we're the storytellers. Good night, everyone.